Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have here two young, fabulous young men that came to Ghana, and I'm gonna do a quick little interview to ask them a few questions and to get their feedback about Ghana, Pan African Village, and just a little bit about themselves. So let's start with the introduction. William, you want to go first?
Yeah, my name is William.
Hey, look at me, look at the camera.
Okay, look at the camera. Do we need to cut it again? Do we?
No, go.
Okay, I think you can edit it, right?
I'm not gonna edit.
You're not gonna edit this?
No, it's gonna be just like this.
It's just okay, just like a Cebu, raw, straight bush. I understand. So yeah, no, my name is William. I came here from America, the land of the great,
What part of America?
Savannah, Georgia. To be specific.
Okay.
Okay, how about yourself?
Hi, I'm Gabriel. I was born in Louisiana, raised some time in Texas before coming here. And, yeah, that's what I
So
got.
Gabriel, is this your first time in Ghana?
No, man.
How long have you been coming back and forth from Ghana?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't phrase the question. I've been in Ghana, so I came to Ghana about 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I lived there continuously ever since, so I haven't gone back.
Oh, so you've been here for 6 years?
6 years straight.
Oh, that's fantastic. How do you like Ghana?
I like it. It's very free, I'll tell
And
you
what's
that.
keeping you here?
Well, I'm interested in the development scheme. This place is growing. Its economy is growing. There's a lot of opportunity for development, especially for a young person to come and do something and make a difference. Whereas in other places, you're kind of fighting the tide of corrupt organizations, whether that be business conglomerates or the political system. So here it's a free new slate that you can do something that changes the world in a positive way.
Where do you currently live in Ghana?
I live in Aburi,
Oh, you live in Abuja.
eastern region. For y'all.
Okay. And it's nice up there for you. You enjoy it.
Oh, weather's cool. It's fine. It's different from Accra. You feel like a piece of ice cream on the table. It's much better. You're not sweating out there. So I like Aburi. It's also very popular with everybody. You got a lot of people come over there. Tons of more people from outside. They come and buy land over there, which also explains the housing prices right now. It's like
It's
New
very
York.
high, right?
Yes, man. Like New York and like real estate in New York. It's always skyrocketing.
Really?
Well, no, it's just very expensive. It's not where Accra is yet, but it's well on its way.
It's getting there. Okay. All right, William, your turn. So, William, this is not your first time in Ghana. So tell me, how long have you been coming back and forth?
For about a year.
For about a
This is
year.
my third time in Ghana.
Right. And what keeps you coming back?
Oh, Africa, Ghana here specifically is a very cool place. It's a very new place. I'm very interested in meeting some of the long lost cousins because I'm sure there's some cousins over here.
Right.
My last name isn't like Imposa. How do you say it? Imposa?
Imposa.
Yeah, but I'm sure I'm related to some of them. Let's see, but it just feels new. It feels like a clean slate, but you have to work for it.
Right.
Like nothing out here is going to be easy. The language barrier, the culture. There's a lot out here, but the reward is everything. It's freedom.
It's freedom.
It's self sufficiency. It'll put a battery in your back. I believe, especially if you stick to something like this for like 30 years. I mean, the level of independence you can achieve and the amount of respect and just our overall self-image could improve if we just decided to step away from what we know for a second and really begin to test ourselves, and not just talk. So that's what keeps me here is the experiment of what could we do in Africa? What could we do in Ghana? What could we do in places that are giving?
Different.
What could we do differently in a place that where the man over the land said, "Okay, here's 5,000 acres. Let's see what you all are about."
Right. Right.
So that's effectively what he said. And so I'm curious in what could happen here.
You both are 24, correct?
Oh, sorry, I'm a bit younger, 22.
You're 22. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. I thought you were 24. You're 22. So what are your specialties? So you both have graduated from college. What did you guys take? What did you guys study? What is your specialty?
You first.
Oh, okay. So my specialty is IT. I was a software engineer, still am for about 4 or 5 years. I'm transitioning to cybersecurity, ethical hacking right now. So anything involving the internet, I could do. So that's my specialty. And outside of that, I say I can do anything I put my mind to.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, that's me.
The famous words are, what is it? The world is your oyster, as they say. So you can basically figure out based on your
Right.
educational background and your character that you can pretty much do anything you want, giving the opportunity
Right.
to be able to do these things.
Right. Given the opportunity to do these things, let's see. I'm never going to turn anything down. I'm not going to tell you what I can't do, but there's ways to figure out the world.
Okay.
That's my approach.
Okay. Gabriel, your turn.
Okay, second for me, sadly, no college education. I was homeschooled formerly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from ground up. So for me, though, my interest is right now real estate, arbitrage. Well, that's back in the States, so I trained to do by family, parents. But right now, I do web and graphic design, particularly brand strategy and e-commerce. Also, I work with a lot of POS systems, whereas e-commerce solutions, but mostly e-commerce solutions for African businesses looking to go digital and to move product digitally. And lately, I've gone into a little bit of business consulting, which is management consulting, and day-to-day management, and some HR consulting.
And how are you liking it so far?
Honestly, when you're working with Ghanaian businesses at this point, you have the biggest gap is generally educational gap. Someone can be formally educated, but the what you have to know to operate a business in 2023 has changed practically. And you have a lot of classically educated people, and really they're creating for a business of the 1950s, honestly, or 1970s, and it's 2020s now. No. No, 19, and it's 2023 now. I think COVID really flipped a lot on its head, and we figured out what is really needed to run a business in this century. And a lot of people who refuse to evolve now have to. So yeah.
They're basically forced to in a corner. They don't have a choice.
Yeah, so I find that I have no interest in seeing African businesses being found lacking. So in terms of transitioning more to IT solutions, that is what I'm interested in. That's my interest and what I find myself doing with the businesses I work with.
Okay. All right. So moving forward, the next question is Pan-African Village. So Gabriel, you've been here for a couple of days. You've been back and forth, I'm assuming. So you know about Pan-African Village. What are your thoughts about PAV and the whole 5,000 acres that have been designated for diasporans and Ghanaians alike? What are your thoughts on that?
Firstly, 5,000 acres, that's wild. Right?
Isn't it?
That's
wow
amazing.
factor.
5,000. So one thing I believe now I know the idea of it is amazing. Though I was under the false intention that it was free, I believe. Yeah, but still, very inexpensive compared to what it is around the country, especially if you're talking about Accra. That's the kind of thing just make you cry. That's it, those prices. But for I like it's a great start. Even when I heard about it, I said someone out there has actually decided to cart off this much land and property, specifically with diasporans, that our interest involved, intention of us. That was not something I thought was even being put in place. People, those kinds of intentions. So far, I like it. I think that I know there's a little bit of controversy surrounding the place, but honestly, it's not the way it's presented online. It's not the way it really unfolds down on the ground. And I think there's a lot of potential for this place, and this is a great place that if you are looking to find land in a more structured, organized way, this is a great place to start.
And you brought up the controversy. Are you clear as far as what is actually happening, or do you still have questions? You're okay with what you've heard and the reality of what is really truly happening on the ground. So are you, as far as not necessarily interested in purchasing land, but being around the area, are you comfortable in saying, you know what, this controversy is not as wild and crazy as it is? I've learned more and I understand that a little bit better.
I would say I'm okay with what's happening so far.
Okay.
Technically, you're going to find this controversy pretty much around the entire country. It's anywhere in Ghana. So here it just happens to be the place that has a few videos about it. It has a name you can throw at it. But if you ran to a shady land deal in Contamanso or somewhere else, you don't have a name to throw at that. You know, you just shady land deal in Pantamanso, man, they ripped me off. But here you have a Cebu PAV. You can throw something at that name. So that's why I believe it's controversy spread. But otherwise, you know, you're going to run into a little bit of mess everywhere, honestly, around here. But there's a lot of good you run into, too. It's a house right over the street.
That's right. All right. William, your thoughts about Pan-African Village? And I know you and I have spoken yesterday about a lot of things. And one of the things you said to me is that it's real. So give me, if you can sum up your feedback on what you've seen, what you've heard, and moving forward.
Yeah, no, I think I'll mention something right now that I did not say yesterday.
That's fine.
Is that I remember my second time around, that's when I went to the slave dungeons. And what they'll tell you is, now, of course, none of us were here, so I can't tell you if that's true or not, but that the people that inhabit this land, the Fanti people, were the same ones that sold us. This is the interesting part that I think is now the people in this area are saying, come back.
Right.
Come back. We have 5,000 acres for you. And, you know, take part if you will. So that's probably the most interesting part about the Pan-African Village for me is that this group of people that were hardly Pan-African to start with in origins are now saying, wait a second, this is probably important that these people come back. You know, this group of people, these people come back. We need you. We need your investment. Please help us out. That's one thing I would like to talk to somebody about that's more official and what is the thought process behind it more. I.e. the chief, right? I would like to speak with the chief like one-on-one just because I think I have some interesting questions that I haven't seen anybody ask him. I'm not too interested in the land. I'm more like historical, what is the thought process? You know, what is the thought process? What is the plan in the land? What's the plan with the land? What's the long-term plan with the land? You know, how much can we get besides when they say free? Free means, I guess for them in Fanti, it might mean peace of mind. Like, I think that's the translation because it's not free financially. You're still going to have to come out of $1,200. So what does free mean? Free means there's no back and forth. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So, right, I would just have some questions for him around, okay, if you're calling people back, okay, it's the Pan-African Village. What concepts of Pan-Africanism is going to be incorporated within the village outside of the name? You know, especially, you know, since the first president here was Kwame Nkrumah, like what kind of things are going to happen here? So what incentives, what economic development, you know, what kind of things were going to happen? So I think that's my thought. Right now, it's you have to be a true pioneer to come out here and see the vision. But first, I think the man with the vision who initiated it, I would like to hear more from him. You see, I need to gauge the seriousness of the man himself.
How does that hinder or not hinder you from? Because initially you said you wanted to purchase land.
Right.
So obviously, based on what you're saying now, you're a little bit hesitant. You want to wait a little bit.
Right.
You want to get more details. How will that impact your decision, and why should you or would you allow it to impact your decision if you're looking for a sense of, as you indicated, freedom, peace, and the ability to have as much opportunity as possible in creating and developing business here in Ghana or even in Cebu?
Okay. Seeing as though I'm an African American, there's two parts to that. I'm a very spiritual individual, but I still come with like an American sense of like that motivation and drive. So the most important thing in real estate is location, location, location. Whatever they say. What is this in proximity to rather than Accra or the eastern region or even up north? I don't know what's going on up north, but I know towards the southern part of the country, you know, there's ports, there's different activities going on. You know, how are you going to integrate African Americans with all of our resources and knowledge into what's going on into the economic development of the area? You know, so don't just call us back for the 1200 land and just leave us here to our own devices.
Right.
You know, especially if young people like ourselves are looking to come back. You know, I have no problem planting anything. I have no problem, you know, setting up a manufacturing facility. But what is the process of that? What does that look like? You know, do we buy the land and just sit out here, you know, like sitting ducks and wait for people to come in the middle of the village? Or are we, build and they will come? Or are we going to, can we sit down with the chief like every week, have a plan? You know, because we're coming with that American.
That's the only way to move forward.
Really,
Right.
can this,
We need to have a plan, updates, meetings, you know, all sorts of
can
things.
this become a project?
Can this become a project?
What would you? I'm sorry. Did you finish your thought?
Oh, go for it.
What would you anticipate that the chief should be doing for you? If you first, for instance, if you say, I want to build a manufacturing plant for recycling materials, right? What is your expectation of the chief? What do you think that he should be doing for you as opposed to you doing for yourself and being able to govern yourself and do what you need to do in order to create a business?
Right. So let's say, based off of that example, what I would need from the chief is, okay, let's say I want to set up the recycling facility. Okay, first I need to see the site plan of the Pan African Village. Okay, where could this facility go?
Right.
Okay, what are the materials needed? Okay, do we need to import anything? Because I know at the port you have to deal with a whole lot. The port is a different thing.
It's a different entity.
It's
all
a
in
different
itself.
entity all within itself. Who does the chief know at the port? Because if I need to order something from abroad, you know, can the chief, can he get involved in that and help push that through so that, you know, all what we need, all the infrastructure we need can get imported with ease. We don't have to pay huge duty fees. We don't have to pay bribes out the, you know.
You pay what is sufficient that is required
Right.
for you to be able to bring stuff in as well as if you wanted
Right.
to export. I get you. That
Right.
sounds very logical and it makes sense.
Right.
And if those are your concerns, then you have all right to say, hey, listen, I need to know what I can do and what you can do in order for us to have an even exchange. This is how we barter, right?
Right.
You know, you're able to assist me in this area and I'm able to assist your people in this area.
Right.
By one, creating jobs so that your people are able to step up economically
Right.
and be able to do the things that they need to do for their family. So it's like an even exchange, right? Is
Right.
that what you're referring to?
Right. So, for example, I was just talking to my brother Kofi out there. You know, very smart guy, but he really wants to work. Like I could really tell, you know, he thinks about his family, but the opportunities just need to be there.
Right.
And you know, you're gonna find good and bad people everywhere. You're gonna find people that want to work and people that don't want to work. And that's
And
cool.
that's global.
That's global.
Right.
But I believe, especially he's 21, especially for a young guy like that, there needs to be, you know, a lot more for him to do, like a lot more options. There's nothing here, you know. So, for example, when America first got started, they said, everybody, come on in. After, what was it? I forget what the act was called. They had the Homestead Act and something else. They said, everybody, come over here, and we're going to give you land. Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
Homestead Act. It was the Homestead Act. So what America did was they said immigrants from all over the world.
Yes, they brought them in.
They
from
brought
China,
them in from China,
everywhere,
from
Japan.
everywhere. We will help you all set up businesses and facilities.
Right.
That is what America did to become America,
Right.
off the backs of blacks.
That's what needs to say. Yeah.
And then they threw them out, but that's a whole nother
Hey,
story.
And then they
right.
right. So, you know, if we're talking about development, we have to study, you know, what did the countries do to become developed where they are. Sure, we're not going to implement slavery here, but we need to somewhat get innovative in the ways that we develop, because we're not going to develop the same way like America or China.
can't.
Or we can't.
Because we are our own entity, we're our own person, we're our own unified group of people that come with a lot of
Unique challenges.
exactly.
Right. So what is the forum to sit down and speak about those challenges? You know, to map out, okay, here are some of our issues. Let's talk. Let's have an open forum. Let's talk. Okay, what could you do? What is within your power to do, and what is within our power to do? And then come together on that and go from there. You know, that's what I'd be looking for. It's not so much, you know, I've been to the website, here's the plan, here's the map. Okay, that's cool. But here's the map, that's it. What do the projections look like? What do the numbers look like? What are we doing for outreach? So yeah,
So those are your concerns.
those are my concerns.
Gabriel, do you want to add anything to that? Or you're
No, I say the last concern is just streamlining the process. I think if things were, if more could be handled online digitally, it'd be an easier process here. Honestly, some things, and this is a common thing with any real estate deal here, things are kind of sporadic and spread out. And there's a lot of space between correspondence.
yeah.
Which, if you're far away in a faraway land, that really shakes your confidence in something. Things must have to be quick, and they can be quick and streamlined.
Right.
So
But they're not there yet, as you indicated.
it's
They're
fine.
not there yet, as you indicated earlier on, as far as you saying that you were starting to do business planning and assisting existing companies here in Ghana. So, like you said, they're back in the 70s and 80s, still doing things written and paper, and it's very antiquated.
But one can think too. There are countries, and I've seen systems to where they're back in the 70s and 80s in terms of their technological advancement. They don't have the tech, but here, many of the solutions present are already in people's hands. Smartphones, phone can do everything. Back in the day, they said there's an app for that.
Right.
Now everything, and now with the growth of AI, you don't even need to write. You can have an entire contract written for you at the press of a button.
It's true.
And
They're
these.
not using that here.
Yeah, the first that's awareness of these solutions is very low. I just told a fellow earlier that people made money, that people on the internet didn't make money off of the money you pay for data.
Right.
You pay for data. It doesn't work that way. You just pay for data and other things. A lot of people think YouTube's only for music.
Right.
Those kind of things. It's just awareness of these solutions, and then of course the ability to use them is lacking. But if they were to get that small bit of education and awareness and able to finally utilize those tools, the advancement just by the small phones in their pocket could get them so much farther. So much farther.
Guys, that's really impactful. Go ahead, William.
And also, an idea that I just thought about while he was talking is the cultural integration aspect of there's the university down the street.
Yep.
Where the university
UCC, you mean?
UCC.
University.
Huge. And they said it's one of the best here.
It is one of the best.
It is one of the best
That's
here.
what the demographics of actually a Cebu and actual Central Region is based off of UCC.
There's UCC here. Okay, so you have diaspora money flowing in, and then you have some of the brightest people in the country down the street. How do you marry that together?
Internships.
Right? How do we combine that? That's another thing as well. They talk about all the times university graduates graduate with no job. They talk
global,
about
though.
they talk about
Here, it's a particular.
Yeah, but it's in the United States too.
but I think having no job in the U.S. is way different than having no job here.
That's true.
The standard of life is totally
Standard
different.
of life is different.
I would
That's
also
true.
say too, the jobs that they're being trained for are kind of obsolete for the economy that they need to
Yes,
create.
that's a good one, Gabriel. That's true.
People are not getting majors in mechatronics, mechanical, electronic, engineering, and things like that. These are what's needed to start up development. You need
To go
manufacturing.
toe-to-toe with anybody else from any other country.
Well, also yes, but also to bring down, for instance, if 90% of materials that are used to build houses were manufactured here, their cost would be lower. It'd be cheaper to buy a house.
Yeah.
You even see concrete imported. No wonder the price is rising.
Right.
Let's just say it was manufactured and packaged here, and the
Right.
packaging was manufactured here, and everything that had to do with it was manufactured here. Even the small cargo trucks. If all that was manufactured here, first there'd be jobs for people. Assembly, processing of the components for manufacturing, make materials cheap, and you just see cheapness and then growth all around.
All around, yeah.
But, I see people getting degrees in accounting. And that's not bad, but how many multinational corporations are there that need an accountant today?
True.
They're booked.
The country to do accounting.
Yeah.
They're booked. They don't.
Yeah. It's funny because Ron and I, when we were on our way to Accra the other day with the other Audrey, we were talking about manufacturing cars that are manufactured here in Ghana. I'm not gonna say the name because I'm not promoting them because but
Sponsor her.
yeah, right. The cars that are manufactured here in Ghana, you don't even see. Ron is the only person that I know of right now that I've seen with a car that's manufactured in Ghana. For the amount of people that are driving on this road, they're driving imported cars.
Right.
And I'm sitting there saying to myself, if you would just potentially focus on the people that are here in Ghana and their needs, you would have cars selling off the lot in droves.
Right.
But that's the thing I don't quite understand is the conception, the ideology of why you're not focusing on your people in order for them to grow. Where are the cars? Because I contacted the company. They don't have any cars ready. And I'm sitting there saying, well, how are you selling cars? You know, and that's a mystery to me because the people here are buying cars from all over, from Japan, the little taxi cars.
Yeah.
They're bought from Japan. These people can make those cars here and sell them at a fair price where a taxi driver can actually own his own car as opposed to having to rent and lease a car from somebody
Right.
and then pay them 75% of their income of the money that they make and they take 25%. To me, it bothers me and it's mind-boggling because I don't quite understand. So based on what you guys are saying, you're absolutely correct. And there is a need for some changes. And how do we get to that point where we start tapping into the gray area? Because everything is black and white, right? How do we tap into that gray area so we can assist in building and showing the people here that there's other options.
Right.
There are other options. There are other ways for us to be able to move forward, and everybody can be a part. Not everybody, but a good majority of the people can be a part of that.
Right.
Well, I'd say for me is providing alternative technical education. That meaning trade school. I would say, and for a lot of Americans and people in any culture, trying to get college degrees to get some kind of job and failing to do so, it's better that you went to a trade school because these schools offer certifications,
Correct.
which make it very easy for you to get a job in the field that you are training for. And I've seen a complete and utter lack for these kinds of schools. I've seen cooking schools, I've seen hair schools. I do not see engineering schools or ones that are worth really the paper posted on. Automobile schools. And really the foundational trades, these trades that are needed to start other industries or support other industries' growth. And I say, like I said, alternative technical education, technical schools, and funneling a lot of the population that already is not engaged with the educational system into it.
Yeah.
And also just practical education, reading, literacy, the kind of literacy needed to create these and support people in these technical jobs and get them to that level of know-how. Adult education should be poured into more.
Yeah.
It should become more of a national program, kind of like the New Deal back during the Great Depression.
So I would say to that, Ghana is filled with what we would consider in the U.S. blue-collar workers, right? And the economy and the infrastructure is not set up to allow them to be successful because we do have more blue-collar workers than we have white-collar workers. So as you indicated, yeah, we're going to school. I'm going to school to be an accountant, but there's no real accounting jobs. And then you see that person on the road trying to sell water or whatever it is on the street. So that's would be considered a blue-collar worker. So I think, as you indicated, more technical schools to focus on the work that is important.
Yeah, we call them the skill trades.
Skill trade, correct. Absolutely.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, I also think on that note, because the country is filled with blue collar workers, I think that presents a perfect opportunity.
Are we okay, Sue?
Are we okay? I believe so.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
You know, they talk about how the entire continent pretty much needs to industrialize.
Right.
Well,
That's it.
if
Second
you
industrial revolution.
if you have a ton of blue collar workers, that's perfect for industrialization. You know, we don't need 50 million accountants. You know, Kofi's out there. He knows how to lay tiles. These tiles are nice.
Right.
The other guy knows how to build a machine that can cut the tile.
Right.
Right.
Polish the tile.
Right.
So when we talk about industrialization, these guys are fit and ready for the job.
Yes.
Believe me. 6-year-old kids got 6-packs and muscles out here. They
Right? You see that too, right?
These kids
Muscles bigger than ours.
I'm telling you, these people.
Being able to put stuff on their head and transport stuff easy without any problem.
I mean, most of the young people I've seen, they're healthier than me. You know what I'm saying? Like they're made for this.
Yeah.
They're made for this time.
Yeah.
And you know, their talent should not go to waste.
Correct.
Their talents and their abilities should not go to waste.
I agree.
You know, even if they are blue collar workers, they're calling diasporans back. Okay, if you call white collar diasporans back, we put the two together.
Yeah.
You know, we work from there.
Yeah.
You know, because we want to see all. If you're coming to the Pan African Village, if you're coming to Asebu, you want to see all Black people just striving to their highest potential. I don't care what happened in the past. I don't care where you've been. I don't care who your mama is. It doesn't matter. What matters is we all move forward. That is number one. Just moving forward. What Kwame Nkrumah said, move forward, never backwards.
Right.
That's what he said.
Here's one of the things that I thought about. You know, you got a lot of people that are retired, and these people are retired with surplus, an excessive amount of experience in a trade. If there was to be someone who had the backing to build a trade school, I'm sure these people that are retired would be able to come out and do volunteer and help to support the young Ghanaians to be able to learn and grow, so they are able to get the type of job that they need in order for them to be able to move forward in their life. But I don't think anyone really look at it like that. I think most people that come here, they just want to chill and relax. But we need to encourage diasporans that it's okay to come and relax, but we need your expertise. Your expertise is needed for, what's his name? Kofi. You know, so Kofi can refine.
Right.
And be great at what he is doing.
Right.
So Simon can be refined and be great at what he is accustomed to doing. So that's what we need. We need that finishing touch.
Right. Right. Even if you are chilling, relaxing, you know, the question is, who are you mentoring?
Right.
You know,
what are you giving back to the universe that has been so gracious to you?
Right. Right. The ability for you to be able to chill and relax, you know, there's a lot of people around you that need just even 1% of what's in your head.
Exactly.
Just even 1%.
Exactly.
You know, if you pass away with that, you know,
who is it benefit?
Who is it benefiting?
I think it's important to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Another thing, continue.
Oh, for example, you talked about trade schools. Ron's in there. He's a carpenter.
I know. I told him already. He said he is going to eventually once he gets himself settled. But I would hope that he expand on that.
Yeah. Yeah, man, if the chief does not use Ron is right down the street. You know, simple case right there.
Yeah, I do.
You know, woodwork. You know, let's get the machinery in.
Yes.
Let's get the class set up. You know, let the young boys come through. You know, get mentorship all around. You know, even have, you know, community times where we clean up the trash.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know.
I agree, because I thought about that too. Looping it back to what you said, being able to. So if Ron wants to open up his carpenter workshop or factory, you know, being able to bring his tools in,
Right.
you know, what does that look like for him? Is he going to be taxed like twice the amount of money just because he's a diasporan? Or can the chief say, hey, listen, go down there, see Kwesi or whomever, and have Kwesi get your stuff in at the price that it's supposed to be, as opposed to having to do all this fluff and going around in a circle. So those type of things, the circle and the dragging and the slowing of processing of things and items that we need in order for us to move forward, needs to be cut off.
And also, you know, we need to, when it comes to the financial aspect of things, we need to get on. We need to have some understanding.
Yeah.
You know, all over the world, people of African descent are suffering.
Yeah.
You know, we're all on the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, so what is the minimal amount of financial pressure you can put on a diaspora?
Right.
You know, for coming back and multiplying 10 people in your village. You know, they're creating 10 clothes. We could have 10 Rons.
Right.
You know, and they're just all working all over the place all the time. You know, swearing up and down. You know, doing stuff Rons do.
Right.
You know,
Throw that in there.
you know, you know, we
I
could.
think we need the new innovators like these guys, the young people.
That's why they're
what
here.
they-
That's why I'm having them have this
Yeah,
discussion, because I think more people that see these videos and get you guys' perspective, it's gonna click. It should start clicking. If it's not clicking, then you're not ready. But it should start clicking for all of us to be involved. We're always talking about unity, 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 but yes, there's only everybody's just doing their own thing,
Everybody's doing their own thing.
right? And so where do we, as you say, Gabriel, close up that gap so that we can be the best stewards of ourselves in helping the Ghanaians who need help, who require and desire to be a part of this whole thing.
And this is the last point for me, especially with now there's a boom in artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Now you all probably do not know how to use that, at all.
The other generation.
Be for yourself, bro. I know how to use it.
No. But I'm
That's
just
so great with that. For the
Yeah.
I'm just
so
talking-
Ghanaians are nowhere near that.
I got you, bro. I get with you.
you know what I'm saying? Like with the potential of artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
the world does not know what it just gave us.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. No.
It does not. So being able to bridge that gap between what we know and some of the unknowns from everybody's end. A Cebu could be better than a Accra. I'm telling you.
Agreed.
It could be crazy.
I'm
I
telling
agree.
you. A Cebu.
And that's my vision. I see that what you're saying. I see that. I vision that.
I'm telling you, a Cebu, they'd be like, "What's Accra? You mean the old capital?"
Right.
Exactly.
There could be, given the creativity and the effort in this place, I'm telling you, this would probably be one of the best places in the country.
Yeah.
In the country, hands down.
No, the coast is just there.
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes away.
The slave dungeon, it could,
Stuff, yeah.
in the future, I could envision, that's where the African Americans left. But then here they are in the Cebu.
Right, we're
Check
all
them,
here
check
in
them out.
Cebu.
Check them out down the street.
We got our own Wakanda. We don't need a new one. We got our own
Right.
Wakanda here. As if you want to use that terminology, which I don't like, but
Right.
just the same. If
Right.
you want to vision something,
Right.
think about it moving forward in a space where people are really striving here.
Right.
Villagers are striving,
Right.
and they're happy, and they're doing things to make ends meet, and
Right.
not to take anything away from their tradition or their culture or anything like that, but just being able to merge
Right.
and be successful. Is that possible? I think it is.
The amount of tourism this place would receive just to be like, these are where the slaves left. But look, we gave them 5,000 acres back here, and look what they did with it. You see, so I think it's all up to the leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership.
To work together.
We can come, we can rant, we can say great ideas, but if it falls on deaf ears,
Louder than words.
But this is another thing, I think. If more of us came, this chieftaincy, I know it's a kind of...
It's convoluted, and I
No,
don't
no,
like
but
it.
what I'm
But
saying is, if we could achieve that, then we could have a little bit more power to implement more stuff.
Yes.
So I'm actually thinking about it now. He keeps on telling me this.
Oh, really?
right, that I should be achieved.
right.
But if I can use that power
To
to implement
recreate,
stuff,
to create and implement.
I'm too happy to do that.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it'll take.
Yeah, if that's what it takes, that's what I'm going to do. Because obviously I can converse with people like you. I can say, come in, you can... Do you know what I mean?
right.
And I think that might be one way of bridging that gap.
Right.
Yeah.
Is older people like myself
No, you're right.
that can bridge that gap on the team. Like, come, this is what we were going to do.
Right,
And I put
exactly.
things in place that you can.
And
do.
they'll take you more serious
That's,
than
that's
actually.
what I think that the bridge
Yeah.
would be made.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I seriously
That's a
think.
good way. Gabriel, you have something to say?
No, I think there should be a plan, a blueprint made, even a curriculum to bring someone from current know-how, which is an informal worker and what we call the informal sector. That's your headpan sellers and your makalo women in the market. It needs to be a blueprint to bring someone from that level of skill to full technical skill, being able to participate in a skilled trade, plumbing,
Yeah, carpentry.
invention,
Yes.
carpentry,
Yeah.
mechanical engineering is one.
Up to IT.
When it comes to starting an industrial revolution, nowadays we don't have to worry about how few people's know how in creating big, cumbersome, bulky machines to power factories. There are innovators in the States who have made manufacturing facilities the size of a small house that can crank out thousands of T-shirts in a day or in a year. The equipment that you got. But the funny thing is that materials are kind of cheap right now. They can be, and if you just knew the know-how, they could be assembled very quickly.
That's true.
They're relatively very low running cost, and if someone knew how to maintain it all, and then could market those services effectively, then you have a revenue stream and an employment base for somebody.
True.
Just extract that process and apply it to 5 crucial industries. And I mean, and very little manpower to maintain it all, but yet the ability to train new personnel is very fast. Right. Then you could start a very small industrial revolution and just let it spread.
True.
Now you have jobs. Now you have skilled people and individuals, and they can invest into other local services, and there you have economic growth. It's going to start with the ability to transition to a place of technical know-how and prowess in essential industries. Like farming. That's one.
Yeah,
as well.
Agriculture is a big thing.
Yeah, let's say if there's
Organic.
let's say there's 3 guys here in the bushes who knew how to assemble a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Grow whatever they wanted, cash crops.
Just imagine just having that. If each person say, "Hey, listen, I'm going to use these guys to build my greenhouse."
1-1-1.
You're creating jobs, and you're creating, it's an even exchange.
Now that fruit factory has more cheap fruit to process, maybe they could build 5 more and employ
Absolutely.
50 more people each factory.
Right. That's true.
Now,
That is
what I'm
very
saying.
true. Well, listen. We're gonna wrap this up because I know you guys have other things on your mind to do today, and I don't want to take too much more of your time. I want you guys to go and enjoy yourself and whatever that looks like for you within the next day or two. But I want to thank you both so much. Great information, great feedback. Gabriel, what are your goals for the next year? Do you have a plan for the next year? What do you see yourself doing the next year here in Ghana?
My personal
6 years. So what does that look like for you?
My personal goal for the next year is to get into the real estate industry myself. Get into real estate, particularly creating a new form of rental, affordable housing for the average Ghanaian to use.
Are you building or are you just going to?
I'm interested in finding alternative methods, cheaper methods of building,
Okay.
and sourcing it and finding how to replicate it here cheaply.
Okay.
Second is partnership with the Ghanaian businesses and startups that I found have purpose and potential here personally, just to lend any expertise that I know how to them and watch them grow.
And have you been successful so far since you've been here and doing that?
I have, and the main one is a particular company I like called Full for Origin, where the owner of the company has advanced ability to work with machines and electronics and the mechanical and electronics. And I just see finding himself opportunity, finding him investors, marketing his builds, his machines, licensing his technology, helping him to do that, helping him to train more workers to do the same thing. Because honestly, it's just a knowledge gap between a lot of people.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
Thank you, Gabriel. William, same question. Where do you see yourself now that you're here? I don't know. You said you're going to be here for a little while. I don't know what that little while looks like for you now. You're very quick and you absorb things very quickly. So where do you see yourself within the next year? And what does that look like for you? And is Ghana part of that goal of yours?
Okay. Yeah, I think depending on how negotiations go for me here, let's see. And plus, I also hit up somebody the other day to register my business. I want to start offering software like consultancy and like using AI in the different forms. Let's see. But I'm also interested in the land here because I saw your video where the chief said you can either buy the land outright or you can come to us with your proposal or you could just
he will lease it to you.
he will just lease you the land and just let him know what you want to do.
So you do like maybe a 2-3-page proposal.
I actually had a PowerPoint.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I actually had a PowerPoint for him. If I got to meet him.
Yeah,
but
you gotta let me know and we can set it up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really interested in speaking with him about that because the possibilities are out here. Are endless. I see it even when somebody can look at this land and see nothing.
Right.
But
if you have the vision.
But if you have the vision, you have to put in the work, and you know, in 10 to 15, 20 years, you know, you have to be able to step back and be like, wow, this was,
I mean, everything,
You
you know,
know.
everything starts from the ground up, right? So whenever, and you guys are very smart. So when it comes down to business, you know that when you're starting a business, it takes 2 to 3 years or even more, depending on the type of business, before you start seeing the benefits, right? So we're here now, and you and I talked about this yesterday. So we see virgin land, and you may say, oh, it's only a small pocket of people here, but guess what? A lot of people are still coming day to day. If somebody comes here every day, at least one person comes here every day of the week, just imagine what this place is going to look like in 5 to 6 years.
right. Also, I know the way for me to get here was through you.
Yes.
You know, so it would be interesting to see, like you were saying, around the streamlining of how do you get here.
Oh yeah, streamline.
What bus, what van, you know, what
And I
What-
gave you,
what-
I gave you
what-
a lot of instructions.
what helicopter.
We could create.
Right, we could create that. Right.
It is true.
Right.
It is
As I'm
true.
brainstorming out loud, do I need to as I'm flying over Ghana, do I need to get a parachute? Do I need to
wave the flags?
do I need to hop out the plane?
plane?
You know what I'm saying? I gotta hop out the plane to a
that single
single
flare, bro.
You know, like what?
I'm here. You see the yellow flare?
What? How do you get to the bush? What is the directions to the bush?
And listen, and I gave you instructions, but you let somebody do it too.
You know, you like the delivery service. I sent you special instructions.
Did you
not
read?
easy, man.
Did you read the special instructions?
You know,
Okay, so you're saying I need to work on my instructions?
yeah, because
Oh wow, bro.
I can see a lot of Americans showing up and being like, what in the hell? Where are we?
How did we get here?
How did
That
we
is
get here?
Don't none
So
stop
I
me.
tell you what, since you guys are in the tech, I am willing to do something on that, right? I am willing to spearhead. We're not looking at any money or anything. We're just looking to help others, because if we try to attach money to every single thing that we do, we will go broke.
I'm telling you right now, I am here for the next. I'm 24 right now. I decided the next couple you know times that I work on software or anything,
Right.
it's gonna be for the benefit of African people, even if I gotta do it for free.
Right.
Like money,
So
money,
let's do that.
you know,
Let's do that. That's our first challenge.
money will come. Money
Yes,
will
it
come.
will.
You know, money will come. But when you're dealing with our people, you know, you have to adapt a special set.
Right. That's true.
You think that?
You got a special set of skills. We are a very unique people. You know, so you have to offer very unique things that you never thought you were gonna do.
Right. Exactly.
That's what I was saying, bro. You thought it was one thing. Now I offer this,
But-
that.
Yeah, right. So we're gonna curtail it so that it becomes this what do you say, directions for dummies. You know those books?
It's yeah.
For example, you're
What?
from Jamaica, right?
Yes.
I read about Marcus Garvey a lot. He's from Jamaica, had the accent, and everything, but what he did to get the Black Americans to move behind his movement, he went to churches. He studied how Black American